Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl, the SkkyZone. Guys, I decided to redo this video here because I noticed that the volume was a little bit low on the last one. So this is just a do-over of the information from that footage.
Any smart lawyer, any lawyer that's credible, and I'm not saying she's not, but any lawyer that's credible will give you their name, their first and last name, and a contact. That's all she had to give me. She would not even look at me herself. Remember, Rob only trusts women. She had a woman attorney. Only reason why he got a male attorney, my attorney will answer that. The only reason why, because he's forced in that situation. So we get there. I'm sitting outside. Me and Joycelyn, I said, look, this is how we're going to play this. I'm going to go downstairs. Because for one reason or another, I asked the bell, I said, is any other way out of here? He said, no, they're in the conference room. It's the only way out is through them front doors. I went downstairs. Me and her brother went downstairs, and my daughter's boyfriend went downstairs. The whole family there, the grandmother, my wife, my other daughter, everybody's there. So when we come out, Joycelyn comes out. When she comes out, she's forced to go upstairs to the restroom, if I'm correct. My wife is still trying to talk to her, and she still would not talk to my wife.
Walk through for these men what it has been for you as a father, a natural provider and protector, to have to be cut off from your child.
Men, how many men in here have daughters? I love my daughter. I took her to school every day. I picked her up from school every day. And for your daughter, and it's just not my daughter, it was multiple women. There was the young ladies, from kids to young ladies. That's how he said he raised them. So he changed their mindset. So when he changed their mindset, they're not to talk to no man whatsoever. They get in a cab.
He re-raised them.
He re-raised them. So when they're not allowed to talk to no man. They're allowed to go and bow their head if any man comes up. If I'm sitting there, if she's sitting there talking to anybody, if a man comes up, the man must talk to her handler. They have handlers. A handler is somebody who controls them when the predator is not around.
What is significant, gentlemen, is both of the young ladies come from two-parent households, which defies the stereotype that those who are being trafficked don't come from a stable family environment or absent from any spiritual grounding, when both families come from that as whole.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Attorney, I want you to talk about the legal hurdles that you had to go through in order to get to the point where we are now.
Well, I mean, we face a gamut of legal hurdles. First and foremost, the first question was whether or not these women were over age. And once it was determined that they were of age when they met him, we faced a host of issues. And so, like Tim said, 3 years ago when they came in my office, after he called me, I first started to strategize, how can I help? Because legally there weren't too many options. But what we had to do was destroy the narrative that's been surrounding this individual and many cases like this, that these are women that no one cares for, that these are women that no one will fight for. And so we took a outside-the-box approach, and we started to destroy the narrative. We had to convince men and women across the country to believe what was going on by taking apart the easy predation that's going on right in front of your eyes. So my hat's off to the Savages for opening their lives. And I mean, they've taken a lot of grief, a lot of unnecessary attacks to get to the point, and threats to get to the point they are. But what we had to do was to change the minds of prosecutors, to change the minds of people in the industry, and to ultimately bring Mr. Kelly to justice. And now he's facing 4 indictments for the situations that women have always said for the last 20 years.
Awesome.
And one thing that one of the young ladies asked her, Larry, that just recently left a few months ago, she said, I asked her, did she ever talk about her family? She said, No, because that would be disrespectful to him. And he would felt that that was disrespectful to him to speak about their family. And if they did, they would get beat.
Wow.
So they were not allowed to talk about any of their past, any of their family members, sisters, brothers, grandparents, cousins, or whatever that they knew in their past. And they would get beat for that and punished.
I want to ask Dr. Brown and Attorney Griggs, if we were to roll the clock back and even fast forward, what are strategic ways in which the churches can be of help and assistance as opposed to just being a silent witness?
Well, we have to get realistic about some of the people we put on pedestals. This happened in the African American community because we turned a blind eye to a predator who is telling us exactly what he's been doing for the last 25 years. So I think particularly for the church, we need to stop placing on someone characteristics that they're showing you the opposite of. You know, perfect example. I mean, I Believe I Can Fly is played in almost every African American church around the country when it's the same person who calls himself the Pied Piper. I mean, what is the Pied Piper known to do? Lure children or young people away from their families. So I think that's the first thing. We got to be responsible and understand that in order to pray for somebody, we got to first hold them accountable and make them responsible for their actions.
Dr. Brown.
Yes, I believe that there's several different components to this where the church could be very active. One, I mean, we need to do things a little different than what we've been doing. The way the church was many years ago, that worked then, but we have so many elements of this. So many girls and boys come into our sanctuaries on a daily basis, and they're dealing with some real things. And it's not just the R. Kelly that's singing the music, but it's the predators at the schools. It's their peers, it's their boyfriends, it's the girls that are luring them into this industry. There are so many different ways that our girls and boys are being entrapped in some of this. And so we need to begin to have these conversations, have coaches, have people that are available at the churches where if we have a team group where they can be able to have some real conversations about some real things that's taking place. Because I've been trying to pass a bill for the last 3 years to lock these Johns up and do something about the people that are actually purchasing. But what is going on is some of those are the same people that we're fighting against this. So when we begin to see in our community that there are some real churches, real men that's going to stand up and say no longer can you buy our girls anymore. But when the black girls was missing out in another country, we all wore a t-shirt. And we stayed on that. Yeah. We stayed on that, bring our girls back. But there are over 300 or 400 girls and boys that are sold every single month in this city.
Wow.
Every month. This is not like it's, and the crazy thing is that they're not, Rico the pimp ain't on the corner no more. He in the house. He's in our homes. These are some of the things. He's on the internet. We need to educate our leaders at the church, have some conversations about the dialogue and the conversation and the lingo and the things that are being said. These girls are having twerk parties in the basement of their houses while mama and dad is at work. So we need to have these real discussions that the predators don't look like what we thought the predators looked like before.
No more.
Guys, this is your girl, the SkkyZone. I do apologize for that last video. The footage was distorted. Sorry about that. With that being said, guys, peace.